Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and every fae of all ages and types. According to Facebook, I'm apparently something like 49,000 years old. I have bona fide proof of that. So, good
You
evening.
got good makeup. And
Yeah, really, really good. It like embalming makeup, right? So, good evening and welcome back to the next episode of the FAE News Network. I am here with Ion the Leprechaun and Lord Gunther Hammerhands.
Should that be Baron?
Well, yes, but Lord is the what do you call it? That's how you address them, right? Like saying yes. Okay, like saying Your Excellency or
like,
Your
you
Highness.
should call me Lord Vader.
I'm not calling you Lord Vader. And famous Dana. Hi, everybody. So, wow, we have so many things planned for tonight. So we have some, of course, wacky news to look at, which is always the hilarious high point. We have a giveaway from the last episode's featured artist and a new artist interview with Hidden Folk Studios. And we also have our monthly... Uh-oh, I'm hearing feedback. Where's that feedback coming from?
Might have been me.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it was me. And then, of course, we have our upcoming events calendar. So, I am super, super hot. I feel like I just got done running around all over the house. I also feel like there was something that I wanted to say, but now I can't remember what it was. So.
I have amazing air conditioning in this room.
Oh, hello, Count Morbid. We can't hear you. Say something, Count Morbid. Are you alive?
No.
Never.
That's the right answer. You are Morbid. Password accepted.
So I know that the thing is
everyone shut the heck up. Oh.
I know that Count Morbid is the prettiest, but I feel like I should get some sort of recognition for being 49,000 years old according to Facebook and still looking this good. No, I do not drink formaldehyde smoothies for breakfast.
You kids, you're farming off my lawn. Sorry.
So, how was your weekend, Count Morbid? You didn't join us at the Enchanted Forest.
That's true. I actually somewhat wanted to. I'm trying to remember what I did do. Oh, yes. I went to the hospital instead. Sadly, nobody died.
Is that what you do for funsies in your spare time? Do we need to plan shenanigans at the hospital where we all just go and wait for someone to die?
That's me time. I sometimes do
think
my
you
own
just
thing
killed
in my
famous
own-
Data.
Watching people die slowly is my time. It's me time. It's
well, it's me time. What happens if they die really quickly, like in a car crash, but you slow it down into slow-mo? Does that count as dying quickly or dying slowly? So instead of being like, it's like.
I'm not sure if you can count the. I'm not sure if you can just count the replay.
I think she watches too much TV.
Yes.
How
is the Enchanted Forest? I did see that apparently there was a lovely haunted house
that you missed because you weren't there.
Well, I've been spending some time helping people decorate theirs.
I mean, I'm actually unconvinced, though, that you weren't actually in the haunted house part, just waiting there to jump out and scare us.
I think you fell asleep during it, though.
Definitely not breathing down the back of anyone's neck.
Well, Drina said that if there were live people in the haunted house, that they stood a chance of getting punched, because apparently she punches people that jump out at her.
Oh, I'm against that.
You're against the jumping out or the being punched?
That sounds like a challenge.
No. I assure you it is not. No, that is a really good way to not be friends ever again. I'm
Well,
very fond of the no touching scares.
no.
I don't mean you. I know better than do that to you.
I don't really think you should punch anyone except something that's not really appropriate for this broadcast. Although I will say that they're often the bad guys in Indiana Jones.
I think you would have liked it in the haunted house, Morbid. It was musty and smelly and there was a lot of knocking on doors that sounded funny, and there was air being blown, but it's like up and around people instead of down people's heads.
I don't.
Is something knocking?
Places for the air to be blown.
Also, is that a not appropriate conversation for this?
Air?
What is that knocking?
Knockers?
I don't hear any knocking.
You are the one doing it. You are terrible at fibbing. I don't hear any knocking. Yes, no, I was going to say, Gunther, weren't you saying something about the haunted house actually being what do you call it, a dilapidated home that was on the original property or something? Was that you?
So it was not dilapidated. So when they were building Enchanted Forest, the owner found this house that was built on the land, and they tried to track down who built the house. They discovered there was no permits for it whatsoever.
Excuse you, Count Morbid. Excuse you. I heard that.
Okay.
Did he fault?
No.
I hope that wasn't a fart.
It came out the wrong end if it was. No,
Very
okay.
proud of you, Count Morbid. Very proud of you.
I was
no permits, I think.
I was super impressed with
there was no
myself for
permit
solving
for
a
it.
riddle. I mean, is it okay to be impressed with myself, or is that too much hubris?
No, it's fine.
I was impressed with it.
I think that you should just memorize some riddles. That way you have them on hand.
I had them on hand. I was not awake.
You're never awake. I think you
See?
sleepwalk through all of life.
And that's a problem. Why?
Well, because then you can't solve riddles and win the Queen's Eye, which I subsequently lost again.
I have no idea why nobody will do an arm wrestling contest with me for.
Well, you didn't ask.
I did too.
You didn't. Are you raising your hand, Dana?
Yeah, I'll do
Sure.
an arm wrestling contest with Gunther.
You have the eye.
How many spare arms do we need to bring for this arm wrestling contest?
That's kind of funny. I sort of want to see marionettes of just body parts, and then I want to see the marionettes do wrestling inside of a miniature ring, right? And just kick, Shatner chop, you know?
Shatner chop.
We put it in a big hectic alarm or something.
I feel like the Kirk chop has to be one of the finishing special moves, right?
Is that going to be your finishing move? The Shatner chop from nowhere.
The arm is on the ropes. The arm is on the second rope. The arm is on the top of the pole. It's gonna. Oh my God! It's a Shatner chop. He got him right in the neck.
And this is why you'll never be a professional wrestler.
I totally
could
envision
be
a
an
bunch of floating arms that just come over and hit them in the face when they're trying to do an arm wrestling match.
What's that game that we used to play? We used to hide around the corner. Forehead. We called it forehead. And then when somebody came around the corner, you just and you would scream forehead and then run away.
We used to play open chest.
Open chest. How does that work?
It's like forehead, except for you punch him dead center in the chest.
Oh, that sounds much more violent. It's very, very troll-like, I guess. Okay, are you guys ready to look at some of these articles today? Wow, you guys give me some crazy ones.
It's time for the wacky.
Time for the wacky. Hold on, I have to read this thing really quick. So here we go. look for the share, because remember you guys were saying you couldn't hear video sharing audio. Oh, what? There's another cat meowing outside?
Yes.
Okay.
How are you there? They're coming for you.
Is he inside or outside?
He wants outside.
Oh. Is he at the front door?
I think so.
Is that the
Have you-
beastly one?
Let's see. Chrome tab. All right. I guess we're going to start with... Okay, we're starting with this one.
All right.
All right, can you guys see it?
Not yet.
It's black.
There it is.
There it is.
Yes, this one was so
What in the
weird.
world?
Okay, half man, half owl that scares off holidaymakers. Filmed in graveyard. A ghost hunter claims to have filmed Owl Man of Monan. That's almost what do you call it? An anagram. It's almost an anagram, right? Owlman of Mammon Smith. A creature of legend that hasn't had a sighting in more than 40 years.
Who?
Okay, the Owlman of Mammon.
Who?
I'm sorry. Morbid?
Did you say the Owlman Foreman?
All the owls go hoot, hoot,
Who?
hoot, hoot, hoot. Okay, I'm done.
Oh man, all of it makes me think of you missed, man. So when we were at the Enchanted Forest, I know I should be reading this, but when we were at the Enchanted Forest, we saw this band and they were called Possibly Irish, and they had
Allegedly
so
Irish.
many pirate puns. Allegedly Irish, rumored to be Irish.
Maybe.
Irish adjacent.
Yeah, maybe Irish. Could be Irish. Let's see. So, a mythical half man, half owl that scares off holidaymakers in Cornwall has been filmed in a graveyard, it's claimed. The Owlman of Mammon Smith has been the subject of folklore since the 1920s, but there haven't been any sightings since 1976. More than 40 years later.
Which also happens to be when Margaret Thatcher disappeared.
What?
It isn't.
No.
Okay, more than 40 years later, ghost hunter Mark Davies claims he caught the infamous character on camera. In the footage, Mark and a friend can be seen prowling around the spooky graveyard, which lies behind a gate with a dramatic-looking inscription. What does that mean? Does that mean that it's written in italicized font somehow, like Vladimir's script or something to that effect?
Have you ever
When
been to
you read
England?
ominous music plays,
It's usually Pink Floyd. You read it, Pink Floyd plays, it's a thing.
What is going on down here? I don't know, but I want it to close and go away because it's annoying me. Okay, here we go. It reads, duh.
Da, da, da.
Yeah, that's about it. Reads, Timmy Nesse the do, which is Cornish and translates to, it is good to draw nigh to the Lord. Mark nigh.
What does that even mean?
Close, draw.
nah, I get near. Yeah.
Draw nigh, get near. Yeah, so draw near to the Lord. So Mark holds out a spiritual detector. Okay, Gunther, you are the ghost hunter amongst us. What is a spiritual detector?
It could be an EMF reader. It could be a K2 reader.
What are those things?
They check for electromagnetic fields, and the theory behind it is that a ghost generates an electromagnetic field. So they use these detectors to find these fields, or sometimes they use thermal devices to find cold spots, or they guess with dowel rods.
A boo
Okay.
fork.
Sorry,
I'm
what?
sorry.
A boo fork.
Yeah.
A boo fork?
Those. That's a thing.
What is a boo fork?
I was making a joke about a divining rod being.
It's the difference between a boo fork and an eek spoon.
And an eek spoon. I kind of want an eek spoon, actually. That sounds awesome. Like, how does the eek spoon work? Do I shake it around and
It just squeals over and over. You know, shut it up, stick in your mouth.
If I hit people with the eek spoon and they eek, is that proof positive that they are actually some kind of a supernatural entity?
At least, from what I hear, that's a good way to detect if they're a witch or not.
I see.
I really want an eek spoon now.
I'm sure that if I hit someone with my spoon, they would go, eek! Wow.
Yeah, but your spoon is ginormous, so that would make sense.
Yes.
I can hit it with my spoon too, and they go eek.
What is
That's
that?
not a
Oh my
spoon,
god,
that's a
a
shovel.
or a spade or
Spade.
something. I don't even know. Okay,
It might even be an axe.
okay, so here we go.
Sometimes you just have to call a spade a shovel.
Shovels don't have a point. Spades do.
So, did you say sometimes you have to call a spade a shovel?
Okay,
No.
I'm gonna.
pretty
No,
good.
you guys are all cut off. Okay, let's see. Anyway, he used his eek spoon and he pans his camera around the graveyard, asking if any creature lives here. Then,
Oh, I
In the
know what he's doing.
I don't know. In the corner of the frame, a ghostly figure can be seen. If I don't show that whole picture, it sort of looks inappropriate. I don't know what we're looking at right now. This is it. That's it. That's the ghostly figure.
That's a
I
shadow.
mean, it looks like Wendigo.
It looks like a shadow.
No
Wendigo.
human being could
My
scratch
tail doesn't have horns.
It looks
The
like it's a
spooky
better
creature.
camera.
Was caught on film. Well, okay, he might have a good camera, but if you are literally in the dark, I mean, there's no light. It's going to be kind of grainy and terrible unless everything is lit up with lights that are bigger than most people have. This is Monin Smith's churchyard is said to be haunted. Oh my God, is there a graveyard? You know, that would be newsworthy. Only graveyard on Earth that is unhaunted. Everyone buried here has happily
Listen.
gone on to the everlife successfully.
Hanging out in the graveyard sounds boring.
What?
Like, if I was dead, I wouldn't be hanging out on a graveyard. If I was dead, I'd be hanging out with Count Morbid. Just saying.
Okay, when Mark goes to investigate, the apparition had vanished and he could find no more trace of the owlman. According to local folklore, 2 teenage girls once spotted the figure while on holiday in Monin Smith, near Falmouth, Cornwall. One day, they walked down to an old remote church more than a mile from the village center. There, the two teenagers saw a terrifying bird man with wings and feathers on top of the church tower. The story says that they were so scared by the sighting that their father decided to put an end to their holidays and leave Cornwall immediately. In July of the same year, 2 14-year-old girls decided to go camping in the area, but spotted a giant owl of human size with glowing eyes. Huh.
I think they're lying.
The creature has been curdling locals' blood for decades. At the time, all eyes turned to the village, and the discovery made the headlines, naming the beast as the Owlman of Monin Smith. Although Cornish people still remember its story, many said they had not heard its name for many years. People at the local pub, the Red Lion, that's funny, actually. At the Red Lion, let's see, the Post and the Memorial Hall had all heard the tale of the hybrid beast, but all said they did not know enough about it to comment. Penny Salisbury said, I haven't heard it mentioned in years and years since it first happened, actually. It was a media event at the time. People were scared to go to the church afterwards. The owlman looked quite menacing from pictures and drawings made by the girls involved. I feel like we've looked at the same picture 3 times now. I want to see new pictures. Mark Davies, 47, from Falmouth, Cornwall, was
just
in the
say-
graveyard with his friend. There's ley lines. There's ley lines which are under the ground near the church. What are you going to say?
That picture looks like a clip from the video Gold Dust Woman by Hole.
I have no clue what you're talking about. Gold Dust Woman by who? What?
By Hole. It's a cover of a Fleetwood Mac song.
Oh,
video-
why don't I know that? Random piece of trivia.
Okay. Well, how about this? It looks like a Cranberries video where she says zombie a lot.
Nope, sorry, haven't seen. Don't know anything about that either. Let's see.
Have you ever watched the
On the meter, this guy picks up that picks up EMP. That's the thing with electromagnetic pulses. Let's see. My mate got attacked. He had scratches. Wait, what? I'm sorry, I skipped a line. Okay, on their EMP reader, he was getting conscious replies to his questions through it. It's telling me there's a demonic energy, and it wasn't safe. My mate got attacked. He had scratches on his arm. His camera broke too. He didn't see anything. He just felt this surge of energy. He didn't realize till about half an hour later when he felt something burning. It's not a place I would advise anyone to go there alone. Let's put it that way. He didn't see anything. He just felt a surge of energy. But that's how he got attacked, was just like energy, was like...
And how long was it before he felt the burning?
A half an hour.
That sounds like a delayed reaction.
It does. It sounds...
So
I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you believe it? Do you believe in the owlman of Mom and Smith?
with a lot of go ahead. I was going to tell you about ghost thingies.
Well, tell us about ghost things. We should go ghost hunting. We should go on a shenanigans to a ghost place.
I got like 10 of them I want to go to.
We should do that.
Yeah, but Count Morbid could be the tour guide. He knows all the people.
All the dead people?
Yeah.
I am unable to make it on account of I've seen a horror movie before.
That is not true, because not last year, but the year before, Count Morbid. Remember when you and I went to try to find that ghost town at Snoqualmie Falls, the tunnel? I don't know, but that was when we got in that snow that was waist deep. Wait, how come you're turned off? Where's your sound?
Times.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
So-
I don't recall that being a successful trip in finding ghosts.
So
I thought that
Frostbite. I remember Frostbite. I lost.
I thought Storybook Land was actually the horror movie for Count Morbid last year.
So we
He
do have
did not
audience
know
members
that
that would
there.
want to join us for shenanigans.
He was Christmas. He loves Christmas carols. Wait, say that again, Ion.
And Emily Boyer has already said that she'd be interested in shenanigans looking for ghosts.
That would be amazing.
So I think there's some votes for doing it.
All right, I used to do that thing, not too long ago, but when it comes down to like ghost hunting and such like that, if ever I've heard of someone getting scratched, they don't feel it 30 minutes later. They feel it like it's like they walk through cobwebs or some stuff like that, and suddenly there's red marks on them somewhere, and it often looks like a cat got them.
Okay, he got attacked, knocked down. His camera got damaged, and 30 minutes later, he felt it. That
sounds like a trip to New York where he got knocked out.
I think Ion might have it right.
Did you think he hit a bit of the mead there, Ion?
Yes.
He was deep into his cups of fairy nectar.
Yes.
He spent too much time at Oberon's, he did.
He was walking along, he tripped over a root, and he landed face first on a mushroom ring. And the next thing you know...
Those roots can attack viciously, you see.
Yes, they just jump up out of the ground and grab your feet.
But I'll look up some places and I'll put up a vote if you want, and we'll figure out where we want to go.
Yeah, I think you should look some places up. Sometimes, Count Morbid, I wonder what you're doing over there. And I feel like what's actually happening is we're talking and then you're somewhere back there doing charades of whatever it is that we say.
He's doing sign language for ghosts.
Do you know that you're on mute and we can't hear you? That's why it seems like
Yes.
Judging us. Well, very outwardly judging us.
Is ready to join us.
I have a whiny toddler walking back and forth, so I mute it for the benefit of all.
Is he like,
How's his pirate training going?
Well, I find him terrifying.
Shall I bring in Jenna Greenwood?
oh, is it 8 o'clock? It's 8 o'clock. Oh gosh. Okay.
What?
Yes. We are going to pause from the news articles and we will go ahead and bring in Jenna. And hello.
Hello.
So,
Hi.
Jenna, allow me to introduce you if I can. This is Jenna Greenwood from Hidden Folk Studio, and she is our featured artist tonight. Please wave. Say hello, Jenna.
Hello.
I'm pretty sure everybody
Hello,
knows
Jenna.
it's you, though, because you weren't here and now you are. So, not too hard to figure out. But
Surprise.
before we get into it too much, I would like to first do the drawing for last week's prizes, actually, and then we will get on with your interview. Here we go. Share screen. So everybody who is a member of our Patreon gets an automatic entry.
Woohoo!
All right, can you guys see the wheel?
We can.
Ooh,
Yay!
that's a
Yeah.
spiffy wheel.
Yes, so everybody who is a member of our Patreon gets an automatic entry, and then if they commented on the last FAE News Network live stream, then they also get an additional entry. So there are two prizes. There is one that is an acrylic print and one that is a wine glass, and I'm going to spin the wheel twice and pick two names, and winners have 48 hours to comment here on this live stream to let us know to claim their prize. So are you guys ready? Here we go. I'm gonna spin the wheel.
Wheel of morality. Turn. Teach us the lesson that we should learn.
Okay, it's gonna get really loud. It's got a super loud bell at the end that's obnoxious and annoying, but I love spinning the wheel because I like the little clicky sound that it makes. Holy smokes, there's so many names. So this is going to be for the acrylic artwork.
I feel like I was just hypnotized or something.
You were.
Oh my gosh!
Oh!
It's so close. Oh,
Oh no!
wow!
I thought Emily had it. Okay, Viola Goring is the winner of the acrylic artwork painting. And so if you are out there, you have 48 hours to comment on this video and let us know that you are claiming your prize. So
I get it.
48 hours to comment on this video and let us know that you are claiming your prize. So you guys hear that feedback? Where's that feedback coming from? Somebody needs to silence themselves. So you guys hear that feedback?
Fixed it.
Who has the YouTube on?
Me.
Hmm?
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, are you guys ready? Number 2, this is going to be for the hand-painted wine glass, and both of these pieces were made by Cosmic Spark Designs. Links for both artists are actually in the low bar of this live stream. Uh-oh, where'd I go? Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go! I probably should have written that down. I guess I can always go back and
I'm
read
writing it
more
down,
if I forget. Oh no, so close again.
Emily again. Oh no!
Taryn!
Who lost this time? Oh, not him. I don't love him. I just know. Not him.
What? He wins now.
He's an
I think-
ice giant. No.
They like wine too.
Yep. I don't know.
And apparently pretty.
You are now the new proud winner and owner of a beautiful hand-painted wine glass. You need to leave a comment here to let us know so we can contact you and get your snail mail information, and we will mail those off to you. Yay, that was super exciting.
Or I will personally deliver it to you and finish what I started, you ice giant.
Uh-oh. What does that mean? Does that mean you're challenging him?
Yes.
Okay, I am going
I think
to
we
now
need to make some padded weapons.
stop sharing. Uh-oh. That is... All right. So congratulations to our winners. And we are back now. So Jenna, will you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your business and what you do?
Surely. My name's Jenna Greenwood. I am the artist and creator for the Hidden Folk, which means I make several different magical, mystical, lorical creatures. Some from mythology that we're all familiar with, a lot from Harry Potter and other mythos. But I also make it so that the purchaser can kind of play along with it. And I run it as an adoption center for homeless, sad, unbelieved in creatures to find a home with someone who will believe in them.
Yeah, that's just actually how you got me, Fairy Princess Lolly.
I was going to say, welcome to my life.
Oh, was it a formal adoption?
I think that Morbid is trying to tell you that he is a sad homeless creature and that he needs to have a Morbid plushie of himself.
Don't you have one of those?
Yeah, Princess Lolly already has a Morby doll.
Yeah, I was just saying you have a Count Morbid action figure. I've seen it.
Well, it's not exactly an action figure. It's more true to Morbid form. It's a plushie, so soft and squishy.
It does.
So it's a voodoo doll.
So it's
an action figure.
Is this one of your plushies that you have in your hands with you right now, Miss Jenna? And by the way, audience, if you have any questions out there that you would like us to ask, please feel free to put those questions into the chat and we will ask them.
Well, I have a couple of creatures here with me today that wanted to be on the show. These ones like more attention than my other ones, it seems. So here I have a pygmy puffskin. These
can you hold it close to the camera?
Of course.
Oh, look at that.
Aww, that's adorable.
That thing is cute. It's got bigger hair than me.
Is a pygmy puffskin a Harry Potter thing?
They are, yes.
Can you tell us about them?
I certainly can. They are one of the easiest, sweetest creatures to care for. They can take a little bit of rough play, so you can have a bit of a toss about and they don't mind. They're very soft. When they're very happy, they can give a sweet little purr. And they are mainly nocturnal eaters, so you don't really have to worry about feeding them. They'll find their own food. But I should tell you, if you happen to have any sort of sinus issues, it's best not to leave them on the nightstand. They have rather long tongues and will take care of it for you.
Ew!
Did you just basically lick my
You
nose?
said you wanted to know.
Are you saying that it breaks rule number 2, which is always use a napkin, but instead they use their tongues?
I'm afraid a puffskin does.
I want 3 of them.
That is.
So they have 2
disgusting.
parts to your nose.
I was wondering where the third one would go, but
There's a backup one in case the other one gets sick.
So one's going to starve until the other two.
No,
I don't allow you to adopt.
One of them will get extra fat because I'll stick it in Famous Dana's room because she got a snout too.
I don't know how I feel about this. This is.
You don't have to look.
It's just that's.
But they are very sweet creatures. Oh,
Hey,
No bueno, man. No bueno.
In Fairy Princess Lolly, I will never break rule number 2 again.
Well, I mean, not technically you, I guess. you won't be breaking it because it'll do it on its own, but it's still like breaking rule number 2 because you're not using a napkin.
I'll use a napkin, just not to,
He calls it a
suppose you could-
pillowcase.
Okay, so
you make a bed out of a napkin for the puffskin.
That's right. Please
I
don't use a napkin. I like your idea. You have fantastic ideas, Jimmy.
I think
this is not a good idea. Well, no good will come of this idea. So, how did you get started doing this?
Well, that's a funny story, actually. I have a bad habit of going on Etsy late at night when I can't sleep. And
I know this habit.
And then naturally, I'll see several things that I want to buy, but I cannot reason spending $300 to buy them. So I decided to see if I could make what I wanted. And when it didn't go terribly, I made some more. And my friend came over at one point and she said, you really should try to sell these. And so I thought, well, all right, sure, I'll try it. And now here we are.
Isn't that the plot of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein?
Pretty much.
There.
Strange similarity.
So when these friends get adopted out, do they come with names, or do they get to pick their own names?
Some of them do, but most of them don't have a name. They all do come with an adoption kit, which will have paperwork that explains their species, their genus type, some basic care needs.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Can we take a look let's look at your Etsy shop here, because I have that. I have that. And then I want to see some more. I want to see some of the other ones that came with you. All right, can you guys see what we're looking at here? Are we looking at it? It looks like we are. Because it looks like behind you you have one of these nifflers, right?
That's this guy right here. Yeah.
Okay.
Come here, little guy.
That will hold on to him for a second, and I'll let you show us the live niffler. I'm gonna click on his little listing. Uh-oh, is it? I think it might not have, because it opened in a new window. So, okay. Opened in a new window, so I can't really.
Nifflers are the kleptomaniacs, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you have little baby ones. And here we can see these needle tufted. Oh my God, I love this little gray one.
Oh, thank you.
He's super cute. And look at your little mermaid in a teacup.
This is very Princess Lolly's favorite part of the show, when she gets to go
I saw
shopping.
something with a
Yep.
jack-o'-lantern. I think I saw a witch.
Wait, you saw some?
Yeah.
So those are my dragon whelps.
Yes. The couple of, there's a Dragula.
Yes.
A Dragula. Where is the Dragula?
It's
Right
the
there.
Right
second.
there.
Right there.
On it.
Here. Aha. Oh, Dracula. The Dracula dragon. But he's like a Dragula. So
Those
this is
are-
what that
And you
song
can
is
also
about
slam with
the
the
whole
witches.
time.
No, that song's about a car.
I know it
Those
is
are great.
about this guy right here. This is a Dragula.
It's about a car. I promise.
Ooh, a real car?
No, a drag racing car.
That is last year's series of Halloween themed dragon whelps. So those are actually on sale, $10 less than they were last year. And I am in the process of making this New Year's series, which are going to be quite a bit scarier than these.
Finally asked me if I want.
Whoa, what's this guy? Okay, I have to change this really fast because I want to look at this guy. Oh, I want to look at this house brownie guy. Okay. Let's
It's so skinny to be a brownie, I think.
Jeremiah's a very special brownie.
Do you have any house
So
blondes?
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Hey, he's a good friend of yours, isn't he, Ian?
Not currently Count Morbid.
guys are all fired.
Me and John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt hang out.
Wait, did you say we're fired? Is Dobby a free elf? Has Mistress given Dobby a sock?
I'm so confused right now. I'm the songs in my head are mixing up. Yeah. How does that John Jacob Jingleheimer?
John Jacob Jingleheimer.
that's my name,
John Jacob Jingleheimer. His name is my name too.
The people always shout.
Jeremiah was a house brownie. So this is cool. I'm gonna click through.
Oh,
So does that little bag open up?
It does, and it has some of his treasures inside it. Jeremiah is the brownie peddler, so he actually doesn't stay in one place very long. He travels from house to house, picking up different things and swapping them with other fairies, and he has his loyal pet Giffer there.
Oh, I really love this guy. This guy's great.
Oh, thank you.
I love little hand sculpted things. Oh, look at that. What's this on his shoulder?
Oh, goodness. It's been such a long time since I've seen
It's like
that.
a teeny little dragon or something.
It's listed on his page, but it's been such a long time since I've seen that one.
Let's see. That's okay. All right. Let's see this Niffler here in person that you have.
You hear that? Time to go on.
Oh, he's big.
And he is fully posable.
And he has bling.
Yeah, well, he's a theft is what he is. Pure theft. But he does seem to take my jewelry and put it in his pouch and run off.
That's Ion's head.
So if we adopted
Sorry.
Oh,
He wants to know if you'll babysit Ion.
Who's playing
I
with
have
the
a problem with gold.
I was trying to see if I could zoom in and see enlarge it a little bit on Jenna and see the Niffler, but when I tried it became Ion. Yeah, so I'm sorry. I wonder if let's see. What if I do this? Nope. Okay, and then do you have one more there to show us?
I have a different breed here, yes. So these are nature tree guardians. They're called bowtruckles.
What are these made out of?
These are made out of something called Instamorph, and it was the first time I've ever used it when I made these guys. It is a moldable plastic that when cured is much harder and less prone to breakage. So because I had to make such skinny fingers, I wanted to make sure it would be durable.
Huh. Instamorph.
Cool.
I've never heard of
Does it mold like clay?
I'm sorry, what?
Does it mold like clay?
It does, except you have to keep it at a fairly high temperature to keep it moldable. So I had a crock pot with hot water going in it next to my workspace and red burn pans for most of the time.
So you keep it in the crock pot in the water and you just take out little bits at a time as you are shaping your thing? That's fascinating.
Exactly like that.
Huh. Well, how about that? So if somebody wanted to get started trying to do this, what would you suggest to them?
Get a notebook and some colored pencils and immediately start sketching out every single thing your brain can show you, and then problem solve with it and find out what materials you should use to make it happen.
What if you can't sketch? Like, I can draw stick people.
But do you know what the stick person should look like? Because nobody else needs to figure it out, only you.
Well, I suppose that's true. Did you know that Arthur Conan Doyle had one of his Sherlock Holmes stories with stick people as a code? They were a code. Like I don't know. That's just what came to my mind when stick people. So.
And he was a known supporter of the cunningly fairies. So.
Yes, so we have an interesting article coming up, and I think it might be regarding that, but I haven't looked at the article yet. I only saw the headline, and I just happened to have that tidbit of information locked away in my brain for random reasons. So, anywho, that was totally off topic. did you bring something tonight to share with us tonight for a drawing for the next live stream?
Did. What I have here is something very special, almost extinct.
That's adorable already.
You want to come out? So this is a Slavic firebird chick. They are incredibly rare.
That is super cute.
Thank you.
Is it soft?
Yes, he's very soft.
Can you tell us more about it?
He's mildly posable, so you can do a bit with like the body, and you can have dancing feet there.
Oh, he is super cute.
Thank you.
Wow, that is a really amazing. That is a really amazing thing.
So I was hoping that one of your viewers might be a good home for this little guy.
I am positive that somebody out there is, and they are waiting to adopt him. Will it be the first one that you've ever adopted out?
No, actually, it won't. I've found several good homes for a few good creatures, but I'm afraid this little guy has been here for a while.
Let me see if I can. Let's see. Let me see if I can open up. Oh, I have a picture of this guy pulled up, but I want to open more of them, and I'm not sure that I can open multiple at the same time, but I can at least look at this one. And let's see, where is he? No, I should just, these are hilarity. Oh, here. There it is. So those are like those little flat marbles that are for a size comparison.
Yes, and you'll also see me hold them in my hand for a size comparison.
Those are the eggs.
I wish.
Did you sculpt his head and everything and put all his eyes in? And wow.
Yes. So he has a wire armature with a wrapped body, glass eyes, polymer clay head and feet that has all been dyed using powder pigments.
Wow. I don't even know.
Work.
This is amazing guy for a giveaway.
Thank you.
You are very generous. So for those of you who do not know yet, the information, if you would like to enter the giveaway to, what does he call a firebird, a pygmy firebird?
He is a Slavic firebird.
A Slavic firebird. If you would like to enter to win the Slavic firebird from Hidden Folk Studios, you need to put in the comments of this video the word firebird. Firebird is the word.
Excellent.
Yes.
How do you spell that? How do you spell that, Fairy Princess Audie?
You spell that firebird. Firebird. Firebird.
All right, thank you.
I think someone should put in what they would name their Slavic firebird.
Oh, I like that.
Okay. Firebird and what you would name it.
Yay.
Okay. That's it. If you put into the comments Firebird and what you would name it, then you will be entered for a chance to win this Slavic Firebird, which is an amazing handmade. What would you call it? It's not a sculpture, but it is. It's a plushie.
Art doll.
An art doll. Okay, this handmade art doll from Hidden Folk Studios. Whoo, I'm having trouble getting that one out tonight.
Count Morbid the Firebird is good, yeah.
Also, if you are interested in adopting any of her other creatures, like the bowtruckle or the niffler or whatever it is that you see, or the brownie, which I really, really want to adopt, hint, hint. A link to her Etsy store is in the low bar, and so you can feel free to just follow that and get your thing. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Miss Jenna.
Well, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yes. All right. Have a good night, and we will talk to you soon.
Good night.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Okay.
Now that we're done shopping.
What wonderful creatures.
I'm super upset that I can't enter my own giveaways now. Of course, I was upset last time too because I wanted that giant wine glass. Right?
I just found out today I wasn't allowed to
able to join us now as well.
Yes, I'm. So I'm just gonna say one more time though. If you are on our Patreon, you get an automatic entry into the drawing, and if you if you comment, you will also get an entry. So you have a possibility of getting 2 entries total. So
I
and
know.
Lumina,
How do I
hello
know
and
her?
welcome.
Hello.
Your timing is perfect. Wow.
Hey,
Choo-choo.
magical, you might say.
Wait a minute. Were you watching at home?
Yes, I was. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's true. Okay. So, speaking of what were we talking about? Oh yeah, Arthur Conan Doyle because of the stick. How did we get on the topic of stick people? Oh yes, drawing.
I can't draw.
Because I can't draw. That's right. I can't draw, and therefore stick people. Okay, so I want to go and find this.
People too.
What?
Stick people are people too.
So the whole reason I know this is that when I was in Fairy High School, that there was a young gentleman who had a crush on me, and he used to write me notes using the Arthur Conan Doyle stick people. And I had to figure out what the code was in order to read the notes that he wrote me.
That sounds like a lot of effort for nothing.
Did he become a spy when he grew up?
Kind of annoying.
No, he did not become a spy, but I actually still keep in contact with him every now and again. So,
Did he at least get to be your boyfriend?
No, he did not. But he was very nice, and it's cool that he's one of the few people that I still talk to long after the fact. Not too long.
To be fair, would a spy admit they were a spy?
Ooh, they might not.
Or they might, because if you were like, yeah, I'm totally a spy, nobody will believe that.
I'm a spy.
Or what if they were a spy and they didn't know they were a spy? Like that TV show on mundane TV called Chuck.
I don't know about this TV show, but I think that if you're spying, but you don't know that you're spying, then that's sort of like peeping Tomming, and that's kind of creepy. I mean, I wasn't spying on that person. I was just looking for
data.
I did
That's
not.
Is
it? Seriously, I wasn't spying. I was just looking through the window right here, like
in the middle of the day while I was cleaning the yard. I'm sorry.
If the right peeping Tom does that to me, it suddenly becomes an extreme sport.
Okay.
People throwing things at you?
What?
I don't know.
I would throw them at each other.
Throwing things at Gunther is an extreme sport?
Maybe.
He's awfully large. It might not be that extreme, I'm thinking.
Only if he's trying to avoid
flying back at you in result of it.
Okay, I'm going to read the article titles, and you guys are going to tell me what. Let's see. I will pick 2 of them, and if you want to hear the first article, put number 1 in the chat, and if you want to hear the second article, put number 2. No, I'll do 3. 1, 2, and 3. So, article number 1, if you want to hear this article, and I'll read them all really fast, and then you can put your numbers 1, 2, or 3 for the voting. Okay, is Meet the Fairy Caretaker of Airport Heights. That is article number 1. Article number 2 is Wanted, the Missing Bones of a Scottish Witch. And
how does that happen?
Oh man, I don't know. Okay, article number 3. Oh boy. Article number 3 is the 2 illusions that tricked Arthur Conan Doyle. So article number 1 was meet the fairy caretaker of Airport Heights. Article number 2 is wanted, the missing bones of a Scottish witch. And article number 3 is the 2 illusions that tricked Arthur Conan Doyle. Put the number that you want into the chat. Let's see. We'll go with whatever the chat wants first. I hope. And if no, I'm gonna count to dun 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 dun.
So far, the count's even.
Dun 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 dun. Uh-oh. We've got a 3, a 1, and a 2. Oh, great. You guys are such jerks. Like, I think we planned that while I was reading them. Oh, wait, a number 2. I see a number 2 and a number 3. Okay, we've got a number 2 and a number 3. Dun 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 dun.
She wants to know something funny about the chat right there.
Okay, we have 2 votes for 2 and 2 votes for 3. So we're just going to go with 2, and then we'll go with 3. And then
3 was first.
Wait, was 3 first?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go with
Newton file said 3 first.
Well, he did say 3 first, but the one that got votes first was number 2. Number 2 got 2 votes first. So we're going with number 2. Okay. So let's see. Number 2 was wanted, the missing bones of a Scottish witch. Here we go.
To be fair, that's true.
What's true?
Oh, that it's wanted.
What?
Never mind. That's fine.
Okay. Officials in Fife have put out a call for the remains of Lilius Addy, who died in prison in the early.
Fife near you?
Is what?
Isn't Fife near you?
Not
Well,
that side, you silly.
I guess there's also a Fife in Scotland because it's a Scottish witch. Let's see, in prison in the early 1700s after being accused of witchcraft. So this is a digital reconstruction of Lilius Addy's face. That's cool. What?
That kind of looks like my great aunt Edna.
And say that'll totally help us find her skull.
If you make her blue, she looks like my grandma.
Every lunch lady everywhere.
I wonder. Well, okay, so this is a kind. I don't know if this is a mean thought or not, but my first thought when I saw her was, her skin looks so good, right? And I'm thinking,
the eyes you have, Grandma.
The early 1700s. I mean, if she was actually this old in the early 1700s, don't you think her skin would be probably pockmarked and gross? And I mean, you know what I mean?
If she was that old during the 1700s, that would be actually pretty impressive, seeing as her life expectancy wasn't that old.
Right. It would imply that she was a healthy stock.
Or what?
But she's nowhere near 40,000 years old. So
40.
I mean, not everybody can be a fairy, Princess Lolly or Count Morbid.
49,500. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You look very good for your age, dear princess.
Oh, man. Okay, so let's see what it says. In the early 1700s, a Scottish woman named Lilius Addy was accused of witchcraft and sentenced to burn at the stake. But before the brutal execution could be carried out, she died in prison, possibly of a suicide. Addy's body was hastily buried along the shores of the country of Fife in an
probably county.
County, probably.
It seems like it should say county. I agree, but you know what? Every time I correct things, you guys are like, "Oh, grammar Nazi," and then you make fun of.
Fairy Princess Lolly. This is the really bad copy editors that live online.
Okay. Okay, in an
Smithsonian website. Sorry.
Ignominious spot. Did I say that right?
Ignoramus?
Close enough.
No. To ensure that the devil did not reanimate his purported collaborator, the grave was covered with a hulking half-ton slab, 1,000-ton piece of rock. I mean, like 1,000-pound piece of rock. That's crazy.
Do you think that's really going to slow down the other one?
Well, I think it's funny that they believe in all these amazing supernatural powers that things like the devil has, but he can't move a rock.
Right.
Oh, that rock's too heavy. I guess I can't use my magic powers to raise her.
Right? I'm not. He can literally raise the dead, but he can't raise the rock. So, in the following centuries, morbid curio hunters are these like people who run around looking for little morbids.
They were the reason why he's my favorite person.
They were nevertheless able to access the humble wooden box that served as Addie's coffin and pilfer her bones. Now, as Nan Spowert reports for the National, officials have put out an appeal for the return of Addie's remains in the hopes of finally giving her a respectful memorial. You know, I wonder why this woman gets a respectful memorial. Now, not saying that she shouldn't, but of all the people that were unceremoniously murdered in horrible ways and dumped off into things like mass graves or whatever, is it just because they have the ability to do it, or is there something?
They know where she's at.
They used the ink spoon on her that didn't ink.
They used the ink spoon on her. If it didn't ink, does that mean that she's already happily moved on to wherever she went to next?
Well, I gotta stick the boo fork in her to see if she's done.
The boo fork and the ink spoon. Get them. Okay, so on Saturday, exactly 315 years after Addie died in custody in the village of Toryburn, should that say deputy or depute? Depute provost of Fife Council Julie Ford laid a wreath at the site of Addie's grave.
Maybe
it's important to
deputy
provost of Fife Council Julie Ford. Let's see. It is important to recognize that Lilius and the thousands of other men and women accused of witchcraft in early modern Scotland were not the evil people history has portrayed them to be.
Ooh.
They were the innocent victims of an unenlightened time. By boosting Addie's profile, Ford added, "Perhaps we can find her missing remains and give them the dignified rest they deserve."
Or they really were witches, maybe. Just saying.
Maybe they'll stand up and choke them. Never mind.
Well, that was very morbid of you. I don't usually expect you to say such dark and evil things.
Maybe they're trying to raise a curse that she laid upon them.
This might be true.
Well, let's see what it says. So it says that her story, which is preserved in the minutes from her 1704 trial, reveals the frenzied, tragic pattern of false accusations. Now, this is the time in history where you were guilty until proven innocent, as opposed to innocent until proven guilty. So it shows you, it's a good demonstration of just how backwards that is. So a woman named Jean Bizet, who seemed drunk, according to witnesses, began making accusations against Addie, warning neighbors to beware lest Lilius Addie come upon you and your child. Bizet continued to appear strangely distempered the next day, so hungover, crying out, "By God, he is going to take me. By Christ, he is going to take me. Oh, Lily with her blue doublet." According to Megan Flynn of the Washington Post, Addie subsequently spent more than a month in prison where she was interrogated and possibly tortured. Ultimately, she confessed, proffering a wild tale about meeting with the devil in the harvest before sunset and renouncing her baptism. During this tryst, she claimed the devil lay with her carnally. His skin was cold and his color black and pale. He
Whoa. This suddenly became very interesting.
had a hat on his head and his feet was cloven.
So does that mean he had a baseball cap then?
I'm trying to understand what is meant by black and pale.
I also was wondering what that meant. The hat. I mean, why does the devil wear a hat? What kind of a hat does the devil wear? That's what I would like to know. Like, apparently,
I think it's a pirate. I think it's a pirate hat.
I think it's a, what do you call those stovepipe top hats? I think it's a
stovepipe. Like this?
Like Slenderman. Okay, it was widely believed at the time that Satan would resurrect his followers from the dead so they could stalk the pious living. Burning suspected witches at the stake was thought to solve that problem, but in Addie's case, officials had to find something else to do with her remains, hence the unceremonious grave topped with a hulking stone. Because most other accused... What?
Is it the hat?
Wait, what? Are you wearing a hat? I don't know. I'm looking at the... Oh my God.
Got a hat.
Yes, I guess like that.
We found a witch. Maybe we burn him.
I don't know. He's got horns and a hat. That's not my real nose. It's not.
So I'm trying to figure out this hat thing out because I have horns that get in the way. It's very difficult. I'm sorry. Continue.
You just have to okay. Angle to the side.
I'm going to scroll through this really fast as soon as I find it again because I'm not sure what I did with it. Let's see. Where did it go? Oh man, I hate it when I do this. I have to click through every single one because here we go. Wanted. Okay. I forgot which tab it was on and I couldn't read. There wasn't enough. Let's see. There was nothing in her story that suggested to me that she would be considered anything out of the victim of the circumstances. Okay. So I think we can finish that article.
So
what?
I read ahead in that article. She's already been exhumed in 1852. Her coffin was turned into a series of canes, one of which was owned by Andrew Carnegie.
Whoa, that's cool. Isn't it a little weird that Andrew Carnegie would want to own something creepy like that?
I actually don't find that weird.
Wasn't he part of the Illuminati? That might not be that weird. Just saying.
I don't know. I guess I've never actually seen the intent.
I guess he wanted something that wasn't made of steel. That's a robber baron joke for you.
I guess that you would have to. I wonder how he came into possession of that thing. I have a little kitty behind me right here. Oh, hi, kitty.
I'm wondering if there's a spell somewhere that calls for using the powders of witches' bones or something.
Probably somewhere, I'm sure. It seems like a... Okay, so article number 3 was the next one, right? And so article... Yep. Okay, article number...
The illusions and Arthur Conan Doyle.
Okay.
He was known to be friends with Eric Weiss, otherwise known as Harry Houdini.
Harry Houdini wasn't Houdini's real name?
No, Eric Weiss was his real name. But
I did not know. I didn't know that.
He was
okay.
With Arthur Conan Doyle.
So the two illusions that tricked Arthur Conan Doyle. 2 real-life hoaxes managed to fool the creator of Sherlock Holmes, and they helped to reveal our own metacognitive illusions that influence our memory and perception. I don't know how weird this is going to be. I'm just interested to see what the 2 illusions were, I think. So let's see. A committee including paranormal investigator, a viscountess, a mind reader, a Scotland Yard detective, and a coroner were all assembled in a small flat in Bloomsbury, London. I have spent years performing with fake mediums all over the world in order to disprove spiritualism, declared their host. Now at last, I have come across a genuine medium. The woman who entered the room was wearing a veil that concealed the lower half of her face. She began with a seance which involved a demonstration of clairvoyance. Each member of the committee had been instructed to bring with them a small personal item or written letter. Before the medium arrived, all objects were placed into a bag, which was then locked inside a box. The medium held the locked box in her lap, and while the committee watched carefully, she proceeded to not only name the objects within, but to describe them in vivid detail. She divined that one of the objects was a ring belonging to the deceased son of a paranormal investigator, and even read the faded inscription. Next came a materialization of a spirit. The committee members tied the medium to her chair, wow, and the lights in the room were dimmed. The medium appeared to enter into a trance, and a luminous mist materialized behind her. One of the committee members later asserted that the mist formed into the shape of an old woman. The form drifted about the room, appearing to pass directly through the medium before evaporating into the opposite wall. Was it a genuine glimpse of the world beyond our own? The committee was divided, and while you may not be familiar with most of its members, you have almost certainly heard of the paranormal investigator Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. So let's see, creator of Sherlock Holmes was highly impressed with the demonstration, although he said he would need to see the ghost again before he would attest to its paranormality. Today, Conan Doyle is best known for his detective stories. Oh, yes! He famously fell for the photographs of the Cottingley fairies, for instance, faked by two children. I called it.
I did too.
Yeah!
I totally fell for those.
You fell for it, or you called it?
I fell for it and called it.
You did not fall for it. Did you really?
I did. When I was young, yeah, like big. But I was a kid. I want, I
And
don't
then
even
you met
for the
real
Farley
fairies,
one,
and
so
you
I knew
realized.
they were real.
And then you met real fairies.
Because I have horns, I am one.
So that's kind of cool. Although
Yes.
I guess I should have scrolled down to see what the finish of the to see what it really was, the whole paranormal thing, because now I don't know.
So,
Oops.
according to a biography of Houdini, he famously met with Arthur Conan Doyle after that incident and proved that all those things could be done by magicians not as good as him.
So I want to know. Okay, how did the box thing happen? How did she know what was in the box?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Somebody told her.
But
Well, you're like, they can all be done, but I don't remember how.
Hey, even Penn and Teller get fooled sometimes. Ask Iron. I showed him.
And then furthermore, Houdini showed duplicated the seance environment and was able to do a trick that no one else had seen before at the time, which was to get a piece of chalk to write on a slate, all floating in midair.
Houdini was also bad to the bone.
Houdini was obsessed with disproving that spiritualists of the time were fake, because when his mother passed away, he was convinced to go to a seance. And when the person putting on the seance tried to speak to him as if it was his mother, she did not speak any of the languages that she knew.
President Lincoln's wife was obsessed with the undead and used to have seances in the White House.
So, given that one of the only languages that Eric Weiss's mother spoke was Yiddish, when he tried to speak to her in Yiddish, she didn't understand. And
Maybe it was tongues. Maybe it was just tongues.
This proved to him that it wasn't his mother, and therefore he started investigating and showed that they were magic tricks, basically.
Who named the language Yiddish?
Languages aren't typically specifically named, except by the people they come from.
Unless it's like Phoenician, which is also considered Canaanite and a couple other things.
So Yiddish people, Yiddish people speak Yiddish, is what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that no one specifically creates by themselves the language that comes from a group of people, and then the group of people call it that. So Yiddish is a Jewish language.
I get told I'm speaking English all the time. I try to explain them I'm speaking American.
It's a mixture of German.
Wow. Oh my
Russian,
God, American is not a language.
There's two.
Neither is Spanglish, but it happens all the time.
Americans how we talk like this, and from America, it's how you know. You gotta represent. You gotta keep it real.
Anyway, I have heard other mediums that when they are conversing supposedly with the spirits, that it is not necessarily words that are coming out of their mouths, but feelings and symbols and expressions, not necessarily exact.
Right.
So there was.
They're following. They're following Barnum's book on how to do that.
Barnum, like P.T. Barnum?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Ion. You remember James Edwards?
Yeah.
Something Edwards.
Yeah, James Edwards.
So crossing over with this Edwards guy. That was, if I'm not mistaken, and you can actually explain it probably better than I can, wasn't that just leading people on?
Yes, it's using Barnum's technique, which is now called cold reading, but it can be mixed with hot reading. It's basically a use of what are now called Barnum statements, which is things that you say that are a combination of things that are common, like
I see someone whose name starts with the letter D.
Right, in a crowd of people, someone knows someone who has died with the letter D in their name, or you use common letters, in particular common ailments, and this will often be picked up by. It works better in crowds than it does in individual people.
I see they're telling me about a ring that is blue. Why is a ring blue?
You say a lot of things, and you say them like questions, and then people don't realize that you've said a lot of things that weren't true. They only remember the things you said that were.
I feel like Pat Sajak would be very good at this. If I have a name that begins with RSTLNE, anybody, everybody, let's hear.
Somebody getting married sometime soon, or their girlfriend got a blue ring for their girlfriend.
Oh God!
Right, so Emily Boyer also seems to know what it is. Basically, the person hearing reveals all the things about themselves that are being read, but because of the way the things were asked, they think the person who asked the questions was, in fact, learning it. So,
okay, you guys, we're gonna do
Barnum's book.
Okay, we're gonna do Articles 1 and Article 2 again. 1 and 2. So you.
Can I say something while we're doing this? Then.
Quick, say something.
I'd like to give a shout out to everybody that's actually in the chat talking. It's nice to see the activity. It's nice to see interaction. I am looking down at it, even though you don't see Gunther saying things. I am watching it. And
you have specific instructions to never speak in American again.
Well, we both know that I'm a rebel and do what I want. I learned that from a fairy princess.
But I do what I want, not because I'm a rebel.
But see, I'm not a fairy princess, so I have to be a rebel to do what I want.
But how can you be a rebel and entitled at the same time? You have responsibilities now.
I have earned the entitlement by being a rebel.
Okay. Article number 1. Cat with unfortunate facial markings. Article number 2. Florida man.
Hold on. Florida man.
If you want article number 1, that is cat with unfortunate facial markings, put 1 into the chat. And if you want article number 2, which is Florida man, ... put the number 2. Article number 1 for cat with unfortunate facial markings, and article number 2 gets a 2 for Florida man. I'm not telling you what Florida man did until we get to Florida man.
So I just got to say that anything that starts with Florida man is bad. I've had talks with some of our listeners about this. It's very bad. I have friends that are sitting there waiting for Still Dorian to crash the shores of Florida, and I think it's a guy doing it. And I had to explain to them that Still Dorians are Baroness.
Okay, article number 2 is it looks like is gonna win here. We
Florida
have Florida man. Here we go. Florida man, Florida man.
Does whatever Florida man does?
Florida man parks a smart car in the kitchen over Hurricane Dorian. I can make it fit. Florida man parks smart car during Dorian.
Oh.
The hurricane would blow it away. Florida man. Like, I can't believe it fit through the door.
It's a smart car.
I can. Have you seen how big those things are? They're a roller
Hold
skate
on,
that's
hold on.
pregnant.
I had a major spasm on my computer and everything went gray for a second. What just happened?
That is the smart car that has been parked in the kitchen to avoid being in a hurricane in Florida.
Where's the garage?
It doesn't matter.
It's not in the house anymore.
Look at the double French doors. That's how it got in.
I see that, but I guess I'm thinking, look at this house. Does that house look quite nice to you? Because it looks quite nice to me. And I'm thinking, doesn't a house that looks like that seem like it would already have? What does he have in his garage that prevents him from Okay, here we go.
Stuff.
Here we go.
Maybe he rents the garage out to a bunch of people to live in for cheap.
A Florida man who was worried his smart car may be blown away in Hurricane Dorian's punishing winds, parked it in his kitchen. His wife posted on Facebook. Jessica Eldridge said her husband Patrick was afraid his car might blow away, so he parked it in their Jacksonville home's kitchen. She added in the Tuesday Post that her car was in their garage. Oh, well, that answers that question.
I thought that was hilarious. He doesn't care about my car. My car's just in the garage.
So Dorian's center was east of Jacksonville on Wednesday as the storm moved up the U.S. Atlantic coast. Blah, blah, blah.
Keep your eye on that hurricane.
Sat for days over the Bahamas, wreaked havoc on the Caribbean islands. Okay, at least 7 people were killed. That's not funny. But let's see. More than 13,000 homes on the Abaco Islands and the neighboring Grand Bahama Island, which were hit particularly hard, were damaged or destroyed.
That's a lot.
I saw a video and it was pretty scary. I mean, up to like waist high at people's doors, their glass doors and their windows, and you could see it just sitting there. It wasn't like waves, it was sitting there.
The water?
Yeah, the storm surge was pretty scary.
And it's amazing to me that their doors are watertight.
Well, they weren't, because the guy had like knee-deep water in the house too. The one that I saw, that he was walking around showing the video of what his house looked like.
I do not understand why people want to live there in a place where that happens.
We live in a place full of volcanoes.
There are people that live where earthquakes happen.
I'll stick with my exploding mountain.
Ooh, excuse me, I yawned. Oh my goodness.
Are you tired, Fairy Princess?
Oh, well, I had a long, long drive in the Land Dragon today to get home. I got up super early and then I drove for a long time.
We had lots of fun, though, didn't we?
More than a dozen bricks of cocaine washed up on 2 separate Florida beaches.
I asked you if we had a bunch of fun, and you're talking about cocaine.
No, I was reading the article. Like further down in the article, it says, and more than a dozen bricks of cocaine washed up on 2 separate Florida beaches Tuesday from waves churned up by Hurricane Dorian. One washed up at Paradise Beach Park, and 15 bricks of cocaine were found in a duffel bag that had washed ashore on Cocoa Beach, about 20 miles north. Wow.
Dorian
That's a lot of drugs.
I know people that live right by Cocoa Beach.
That is a way to get it past customs.
I didn't produce it. The hurricane brought it to me.
Came in with a hurricane, you know.
I certainly am a huge fan of hurricanes.
The cocaine is more watertight than houses are.
Apparently.
I mean, that's called saving your investment.
Well, which will do you no good if you're not still in possession of it. So,
I suddenly feel like this is going to turn into an episode of Scarface because of the Florida man.
Scarface.
It would be cool if you could follow the journey of where it came from.
The cocaine.
Yes.
You start in Colombia, and
Oh, I bet you that there's some kind of tracking device in that duffel bag.
Okay.
So I gotta say something else too.
Do you have to, like, 100? Just if you don't, you're just gonna explode.
Yeah, but I'll show you why.
I'd like to
Hang on.
see that.
Can you open your book of faces real quick?
Okay, hold on. Okay, it is open. What do you want me to look at?
I just sent it to you.
Oh, okay, hold on. Oh,
Do you recognize that one?
yes? Why are you showing me this now?
That's Popsicle. That's Popsicle Hammerhands.
Yes.
And Dana, would you like to tell them what happened to Popsicle?
Well, Popsicle got her training wheels off of her new bicycle, and she was having a blast and doing great in her new home, and she crashed her bicycle and broke her other arm and re-broke her first arm that was broken when she met Gunther, and he named her Popsicle. And she is also tore a tendon in her knee, but they can't do anything for that. She is 10, and we're all hoping that she does a speedy recovery, and they've got pretty colors on her casts.
I want Popsicle to know that if she sees this, I am thinking of her very much, and I'm hoping nothing but the best for her.
Yeah, I was gonna pull up a picture.
Can I nominate her for an extra drawing? Or extra name in the drawing?
We should put her name. I will put her name in the drawing for her.
Come here, kitty.
Abby.
Her name's Abby. It's her Abby Popsicle Hammerhands.
I'm sorry that happened to her. How did you get that picture?
It was sent to me by some boggins that running around the house.
Oh my gosh. It's 9 o'clock. Okay, so this is normally. Oh, we
Oh my gosh! There's a cat.
No.
Cat Morgan's been replaced by Cat.
Whoa.
That's we have a witch in the room. I know it.
Look at that meow meow. Hi, kitty. Okay, everybody has a cat. I have a kitty too. She's right behind me.
I don't have a kitty.
You can't see her because she's laying flat. Okay, wait. I have to go over our. I got like wrapped up doing the articles because I was having fun reading them tonight. And Florida Man is hilarious. What was the other one? Oh, let's do the cat with unfortunate fate. Okay, first I'm going to read. First I'm going to go over our upcoming calendar events, and then we will end on cat with a weird facial marking. An unfortunate facial marking. It's like a lemony snicket cat or something. Okay, so upcoming events for the next month are the Rosemary House Fairy Festival, which is September 7th and 8th. That is this weekend in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. And this weekend, Ion the Leprechaun and I are going to do shenanigans. We are going to go to the Gnome Trail of Maple Valley, and if you want to join us, you can find a link to that on our Facebook page. Links for that are in the low bar, so you can feel free to come out and go on the Gnome Trail with us. The Enchanted Fairy Festival is on September 7th, also this weekend. That is in York, Pennsylvania, and we are planning shenanigans with actually Jenna, who was just here, the artist, for a Dark Crystal screening September 13th at the Fernie Bray in Portland, Oregon. Northwest.
Friday the 13th.
Wait, is that the right? That's the wrong one. Northwest Viking Fest is September 14th in Ferndale, Washington. Shrewsbury Ren Fair is September 14th and 15th in Kings Valley, Oregon. And
there might be a sighting of a Gunther and a famous Dana there. We don't know yet.
Ooh. I'll keep an eye out for them.
Ye Merry Greenwood, Renaissance Fair, the Fay Hollow will be there, and that is September 21st and 22nd in Kennewick, Washington. And you can come see us there if you're out in Eastern Washington. Shenanigans for the Corvallis Fall Festival. Come join us. It is a free street fair type of an event in Corvallis, Oregon. That's September 28th. And
That's
then
in my barony.
the Las Vegas Ren Fair, the Age of Chivalry, is October 11th through the 13th. And I am supposed to be there with my friend Penelope Pendragon, the Wish Fairy, joining her in her enchanted forests down there. And the New York Renaissance Fair is goes through October 6th. So we have all month and then ending the first weekend of October. That's in Tuxedo, New York. Can verify that one is very fun and cool. Ion and I have both been to that Renaissance Fair. And then the Samhain Dump Supper, that's one of our events. And that will be November 9th in Ridgefield, Washington. And if you're interested in any of our shenanigans or events, again, you can find links to those in the low bar. Yay!
Or if you live near us. If you live near us and would like for us to do shenanigan events, let us know.
That completes my...
This year,
I just thought of a shenanigan that we should maybe think about doing.
First will be Halloween.
I'm scared.
Morbid was saying something, and I was having a little trouble hearing him.
Yeah, I couldn't hear him.
What'd you say, Morbid?
He said Halloween is coming up.
31st will be Halloween.
Oh, geez. Okay, what did you say, Lumina? We all
I
know
was
that.
thinking of a shenanigan we should do in Portland. We could all gather and go out to the witch's cottage in Forest Park, maybe. It's a very short walk.
Lolly and I were talking about that last week.
It's very lovely this time of year.
So I don't know when we can, though.
Leaves starting to come down soon.
I don't know that we can. We got a lot of stuff.
Maybe
Lolly. We could do it the same weekend we go do the thing in Portland for the Sing Toby, Labyrinth thing. Or not Labyrinth though, Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal. So that's not this weekend, but next weekend, and that is on a Friday. So if we went and we had shenanigans at the Fernie Bray on Friday, then maybe on Saturday we could go to the Witches. What's it called, Lumina?
I think it's called the Witch's Cottage.
Witch's Cottage. That sounds like it would be fun and cool to do.
Maybe we could do ghost hunting there too.
See, I won't be there for that weekend, but there's
for the second. Oh. Dang it! It was your idea, and then you won't be there.
What? Lumina, you're setting yourself up a failure here. What's going on with you?
What's in October? Do we have any weekends for you in October?
Everything's in October.
Yeah, everything is in. It's less than.
Fairy Princess Lolly's going to go invade Dracula's castle.
Oh, that's right.
Hypothetically, I'm supposed to go to Romania at the end of October. So
start eating lots of garlic now. Then get it in your system.
Lumina followed herself into the woods is her problem.
Just make sure you intake a lot of garlic before you go, Fairy Princess Lolly, because I don't want you to come back looking like Cal Morbid.
I'm sure I'll be okay.
Too pretty for me to handle.
I'm not going alone.
Not a vampire.
Okay, here we go. Are you guys ready? We're gonna cat with unfortunate. Here we go.
Cat with unfortunate face markings.
Oh,
is it a tattoo of a dog?
Oh, what?
Cat with unfortunate facial markings, which people laugh at, desperately needs a home.
Is it a dog? A picture of a dog on its face.
No, that's not a dog.
It's a heart. Get your mind out of where it is. It's a heart.
Well, how did you know if my mind was there unless yours was too?
That does not look like a heart. I can show you what that looks like, but I would get kicked off the interweb.
So let's see. It says Daisy is an adorable Raggy. Aw, she's like Fleefy Beefy.
Oh Lord, here we go.
She's like my kitties.
I was just gonna let you know, Fairy Princess Lolly, nobody understands your kitty language except for the kitties. And Ion.
No, and you. I bet you guys understand my kitty language.
Hold on.
It's all
everyone knows who Floofy Poofy is.
See?
I know who Cuter Patutor is, and she's psycho.
Cuter Patutors is not psycho.
Okay, when the cat sits there and just climbs off things like a ninja, and then jumps on you in the middle of the night just to pee on you, and then goes running back around like a ninja, that's psycho.
See,
Kind of.
I did. If I did that to somebody, if I did that to Ion would think I was crazy. Am I right, Ion?
Yes.
Okay. Therefore, the cat is not
involved.
I suppose though that's legitimate, because I'm just trying to imagine you jumping on a bed would be like Blanca, just like and then peeing on people. I mean, are we talking about Donald Trump here? No.
I was thinking Joe Biden, but fair enough.
You know, I'm suddenly disturbed with the number of people who have apparently just like done that. I don't know. I'm not going to go into it anymore. I'm not going into it. We're just going to move. We're going back to Daisy, the unfortunate facial marked cat. However,
she's the
Can we
same kind
please
of
have some
cat
decorum?
as Sissy.
apparently Daisy's face markings prevent her from she has facial markings which the Mini Kitty Commune Rescue Center in Sydney, Australia, have said people can be unkind about explaining that while she had while some say she has unfortunate facial markings and some call her unique. Oh my god.
Maybe you should just use a little hair dye on it and cover it. And then once people adopt it, there's
I am 15. Just saying.
You're not that
I am
old.
15 right now.
You're not that old. Yeah, good one.
Describing the sweet Moggy.
Mogi.
What's a Moggy?
It's Mogi. It's a British phrase for cat.
Okay. Well, describing her further, the center writes that beautiful Daisy is ready for adoption. Daisy is 9 years old and ready to spend her time snuggling on anything warm and is happy to watch the world go by. She's very easygoing and doesn't want for much.
What are you doing?
Loves company of humans, but has also been around other cats, so will do well after correct introductions. Despite people apparently actually laughing at her face, Daisy is still a friendly cat who has no idea that her markings look a little phallic. So I was gonna make a bad joke. Let's see. It looks like an elongated love heart.
There we go.
Fantastic.
See? It's a heart.
What if she's a puka?
An elongated love heart.
I'm not sure that part is a love heart.
Hey, baby, do you want to see my elongated love heart?
Somebody say something about elongated things.
Let's see.
Yeah, this is where it becomes adults.
It looks more like angel's wings to me.
There
It
we
does
go.
not look like angel's wings to anybody.
Yes, don't blink.
If you're based in the area and are keen to offer Daisy a home, contact the shelter through Facebook. Wait, in fact, in response to the center's Facebook post, many people pointed out that the markings looked a lot like other things. Okay, I wonder. I'm gonna click on this.
Look a lot like wingless.
It's beginning to look a lot like an elongated love heart.
What did you just drop, Gunther?
You want to see?
We don't want to say no.
But it like suddenly all this bang, crash, boom.
Aha. Wait.
That happens with some elongated love hearts.
You dropped your club. Okay.
I'm trying to find some of these comments that. Oh. Whoa. I am not even going to say some of this stuff out loud. Wow.
Perhaps it is best to move on.
Bummer of a birthmark, Cal.
Bummer.
Daisy looks like a very sweet kitty.
She actually does look like she's super fluffy and really cute, and I like her, and I wish she wasn't so far away.
You're only saying that because she's a rag doll and you're obsessed.
With what?
Rag dolls.
We could draw elongated love hearts on
Listen,
Princess Lolly's cats.
We understand that you're 45,000
No.
years old and you have cats, and so you could be a cat lady. We accept this thing.
Listen, less than half of my cats are ragdolls.
Ooh.
What she said.
I totally envisioning
All
the
6-year-old cats are about ready to become tacos, so.
drawing a mustache on the forehead type of thing, of the cat. Like it's such a drastic different color than the rest of the fur that it doesn't seem like a natural occurrence.
Yes, drawing things on people's heads, and that's how Morbid died, Your Honor.
Okay, so
if anybody could get away with it, I think Count Morbid could. Okay,
right.
and that's because I would stab anybody that messed with him.
We saw the band at the Enchanted Forest, and they sang "What Do You Do with a Drunken Sailor?" And one of the jokes was you draw a mustache on their forehead.
That's right.
I actually
draw a mustache on his forehead. Draw a mustache on his forehead. Was that something like that?
Yes, it was. Well, if you actually go to their YouTube channel for the Possibly Irish, and you watch that video, they actually paint them on foreheads.
I was a music video because they were actually really good, and I liked them a lot.
So why don't we share what happened there, Fairy Princess Lolly? Why don't you tell the story with the potentially Irish guys?
Once upon a time, there was a pirate named Stu, and he was always a bit tippled, and so his knots were askew. And when he passed out in his bed, they took a pen and put a mustache on his forehead.
That's not what I would have said, but fair enough.
I don't know. Sorry, which story did you want me to tell? I mean,
totally expecting you to pull a book out of somewhere and start reading.
Yeah, like I was like, did you just have every story known to man right there at your access? I thought you had it already. But what I was going to say is that we went down to Enchanted Forest, and it was on our way as we're getting ready to go. And we discovered that there was an Irish band.
Possibly Irish band.
Irish-ish. Like, so we asked them if they were potentially Irish,
Irish.
I don't know which Irish they were. They were actually really good. They were very young, which is a thing.
There's actually more members that were not there at playing that day.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. If you actually go to their YouTube site, you can see that there's actually 6 of them, I believe.
I put a clip of them into our Enchanted Forest video.
Mm-hmm. I haven't been on the interwebs today or like in the past series of days. But what I was going to say is they were actually really good. They were really nice, and they seemed to enjoy us being there. It's like they knew the ancestry was there, so they stepped up to their A game.
They were really good, and they were very interactive with the crowd. And I was super tempted to get up and dance. I will confess.
I was going to go steal the girl's violin and start playing for her.
No, you need a little more practice first.
You don't know that.
You know, but I guess if you were going to steal the violin, then I get to take the penny whistle.
And I'll play with the ballroom.
You get you the penny whistle.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, where are we at for the evening? Because it looks like it's 9:20.
Ooh, we went over. Way
over.
So let's see. We could do a couple more articles, or we could bid our adieus to you and you and you.
Actually, we should name the wolf. What should the wolf's name be?
What wolf? What?
The wolf on his wall.
That's the wolf card. The wolf. We need to name her.
I still say it's a girl wolf.
Okay. It's a girl wolf. What should her name be?
Luna.
Petunia.
Petunia.
I like Luna.
Luna's the name of the moon. She housed at Luna. there's actually a really cool story about how the wolf so fell in love with the moon, but was heartbroken when the moon left. Therefore, every night would howl to tell her how much he loved her. It was a song of love to the moon and how much he missed it.
I did not know that.
Story. Yeah, I'll find the story to tell you. It's actually a really good story. It's sad.
No, it sounds terribly sad. I don't want to read sad stories.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful story. I like it.
I mean, it might be.
There's a guy with a sharp object saying he likes the love story.
Well, let's see. You could name it. You could name it Lobos.
Spanish for wolf.
Yep.
That's like when they named the dragon in Braveheart Draco. Is that Latin for dragon?
You're calling me a dragon in another language.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no suggestions. This is like a pop quiz. Quick, name my wolf.
How about we put suggestions onto the list, and people that have suggestions they can put in the comment section below.
Or yes. Okay, so I will say one more time then in closing. First, thank you everybody for joining us. And if you weren't here earlier, we have a giveaway that this week is being hosted by Hidden Folk Studios, and it is for a Slavic Firebird. If you want to enter the giveaway to win the Slavic Firebird, you need to put Firebird and what you would name it as a comment on this video, not into the chat, but in the actual comments below. And you can check out other creatures to be adopted. The links are all in the low bar. And I think that's all I have to say. If you want to go to any of our events or see what we're up to and follow us, we have links for our Facebook group and our pages that are all there, and our events that are also on Facebook. And so you can go and follow those as well.
Also, if you put the name for the wolf in the comments below and your name is chosen, we will send you a wolf patch.
All votes should be for Petunia.
Morbid. I can't breathe now.
I am sure I am. Oh no. We're sorry, Gunther. It's funny. But you know what? Morbid definitely got you on that one, so he's got paybacks coming for doing that. Morbid.
Well, between Morbid and me, we always get each other. I love the guy to death.
I'm so tempted to share that with.
I'm totally saving that photo. Totally saving that photo.
I'm so tempted to share it, but I don't know. I feel like it's very mean, and I'm not sure I want to share it, but it did make me laugh. Morbid, I'm sorry. You have declared war via, I guess, lack of artistic integrity.
That is brilliant, Morbid. That is beautiful.
I actually...
You have to pick the oldest picture of me, though, man.
I was trying to find one.
Okay, I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share it.
No, we're not allowed to. It's not PG.
As if the picture of the cat is PG.
You know what? It absolutely is PG. Where is your head in this? Okay, this is how you know when a troll needs to be adopted. Okay, a troll with an unfortunate facial marking.
It's an elongated heart.
Yes, it is an elongated heart.
Yes, this troll with an elongated heart, which is his unfortunate facial marking. He needs
what's
adoption.
actually really good about this, though? Morbid has one too, but you can't see because he's small and shriveled.
Oh.
I love you, Morbid. I do. That's why I do that.
Like many dead things will rise again at night and go.
Oh,
I'm just saying, I am pretty sure that you have definitely launched the volley there. So I'm not even sure that's it.
Probably
More like
not going to
you
go very
turned
well.
the ship broadside and just rolled out the cannons, just like
That is
This
no.
is probably not going to go very well at all.
I didn't post that publicly. It's a tribute.
Okay,
a tribute.
Morbid, you should know. You should know never to attack at me. I always take it way too far. It is very true. You never come at me.
It isn't the best
This-
picture, but it's a tribute to the best picture.
Yes, this is a tribute to This is not the best picture in the world. It is just a tribute. This is just a tribute. Couldn't redraw the best picture in the world.
This is a tribute to.
I just, wow, now my head is like in Filkland, right?
On that note, thanks for watching, everybody.
Me and my friend Morbid were walking down the road.
Molly, probably cut it down now. It's almost 9:30.
Down a long and lonesome road. When we
East of
saw
Omaha.
what?
Is it east of Omaha?
No.
When we saw
West of Omaha.
a fluffy rag doll, and it said, "Praise be Jesus." Draw. It says, draw the best picture in the world.
You know that?
Or I'll gack on your carpet.
Okay. You know what's still on my desk in here,
Hairballs everywhere.
Molly?
Yes?
I still have the pictures.
Oh,
We still forgot to go through them.
well, me and Morbid, we each looked at each other and we each
Oh.
said, okay. And we drew the first things that came to our heads that just so happened to be an elongated forehead, elongated heart on the forehead. I don't know. Oh no.
You guys need some freaking help, man.
I think they found that package that washed up on the beach. I mean, it might not have been what they said it was.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Ah,
yes.
allegedly.
Oh, that looks kind of cool.
Yeah. I
Okay.
might be able to do it myself.
Okay, we officially have to go, right?
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We will be back in 2 weeks. I guess that's like 14 days plus, so like September 18th.
Wait, hold on.
I did do math
Is
there.
that,
really
is
fast.
that after Greenwood or before Greenwood?
Before Greenwood.
Right before Ye Merry Greenwood, the Wednesday before.
May the odds ever be in our favors, folks. Good
Yes.
night.
Good night. We love you guys. Bye.
Yeah.
Let's see.